So good evening, good evening, good evening. We are back again. We have got lots to get our teeth into today, picking the bones out of that disaster class at the Emirates yesterday to Tottenham. So yeah, Jez, how are you, mate? How's your Monday going?
Yeah, good, mate. Good, mate. What you were saying off camera a minute ago. You went to bed at 1 o'clock. I went to bed at 4 o'clock this morning because I did a stream last night, and at the same time Wales were playing Australia, and I missed most of it. So I watched it on playback at 2 a.m. this morning. So,
wow.
Yeah, and I can tell you, drinking wine at 2 o'clock in the morning at my age is not a good move.
For anyone who doesn't know what Jez's on about with my 1 o'clock, I've literally just woken up, fell asleep again on the sofa. Kenny, how are you, mate? How's your day going?
Hey, it's been good. I managed to get a good night's sleep because I was absolutely knackered last. I fell asleep in front of Match of the Day 2 about half 11, and that was it. I had a very, very good night's sleep until one of my daughters wrote me up to say there's a spider on a spider on outside in the sitting room, so I had to go and kill it. Or all you need is a bit of tissue paper, strong fists, and then clench them, and the spider dies. So that's what I did. But talking about cup, Jez is talking about Wales fresh in Australia. Yeah, that as well. Yeah. Jez is Wales fresh in Australia in the Rugby World Cup. I've been so bad. I can tell you categorically now, I haven't watched 1 minute of Rugby World Cup, and it's not because I don't want to watch it. It's just that I haven't had any time. I'm either watching too many reruns of the Bill, or I'm watching too much football or cricket. So I'm bad.
It's not good. Right, where do we start with this? Let's give a stat out. Our captain who gets goosebumps. He gets goosebumps when that North London Forever song's playing as he walks the team out, proud to wear the shirt, singing the song under his breath. Completed a grand total of 18 passes all game. Completely gone. Didn't see him second half. That's just down to him. But you got to do more, mate. Yeah, you're the captain of Arsenal Football Club in a North London derby. You got to do more. Yeah, Bukayo Saka. Yes, he scored. Fantastic. He was involved in the Romero own goal, but again, not a great performance from him yesterday. Eddie Nketiah got paid £1,000 for every minute he was on the pitch yesterday. Disgusting performance. And on another day, he snaps that goalkeeper's leg beyond repair, mate. Yeah, the way he went into that, if he catches him, that would be one of the nastiest leg breaks I think we'd ever see. Yeah, he's lucky he stayed on for that. All in all, it was shocking. And I was super, super cocky with it. I predicted 5-2. I've got the whole Spurs Online fan base coming at me. You predicted 5-2. Oh, guess what? League Gunner got a prediction wrong. Get over yourselves. Like, am I that gargantuan? Like, it really matters. Oh, no. Yeah, ultimately, Spurs deserved their point. And if the game had gone on for a few more minutes, they probably would have won it. If Maddison and Son stayed on, they definitely would have won it, regardless. But it weren't good, Jez. Starting 11, we're all looking at it going, all right, cool. I can kind of understand why Eddie's in the team. Trossard's out, Martinelli's out. But as soon as we see that half-time double sub, mate, my heart sank. The whole atmosphere changed on my watch-along. The chat was going off. Me and Ola, Matty, we were just like, nah. What did you make of it, mate?
Well, at the end of the day, I agree with what you're saying. When I saw the starting lineup, I thought, I knew that Nketiah was going to start. That was bang on. He didn't do anything. It was just wisely there. It was almost like at times we were playing with 9 men. People just in and out the game. And I said last night, Lee, I just don't understand how Arsenal, with the players we've got, can't get bigged up for a North London derby. I just don't understand it. It's one of the biggest games of the season at the Emirates, and of course down White Hart Lane, and yet we're acting like it's a practice game, and it was pathetic. And there was too many players there that were just not on the game at all. It's like they couldn't be bothered. And, as I said, that double substitution at half-time, watching your watch along yesterday, and as soon as I saw that, I thought, what is he doing? What is he doing? And when he took Jesus off and left Nketiah on, at least Jesus was trying. I didn't really see what Nketiah actually brought to the party at all. And another thing that seriously annoyed me was in the second half, Romero gets a yellow card when Spurs have got a corner, right? And they're having a laugh. They're joking. You got an Arsenal player and Romero having a bloody joke. And I'm thinking, you don't get this, do you? You just not understand what this game means to the fans and the community. And I think it's an absolute joke situation, disgraceful. And Arteta, you need to go now. You're an absolute clown. Seriously, your substitutions were ridiculous. Mate, your time's done. The job's too big for you, mate. Leave.
I think it was Jesus when it was joking with him.
Yeah.
Was it Jesus? I think it was. If it wasn't, there was another player in the game where Jesus was laughing and putting his hand over and having it. It's like they don't get it though, Jez. That's the problem. They don't get it. How many times do we see them all cuddling in the tunnel before they're coming out? All these players, not just Arsenal. Man United with players were doing it in the Manc derby last season, all having a laugh and a joke. It's like they don't get it. They're there for the dough. That's it. Yeah, they couldn't care less. They come out with their little PR spins left, right, and centre. Yeah, and fans go and melt all over it. Oh, Odegaard gets goosebumps under the lights. No, he don't. He don't. Last time we see Martin Odegaard, he was smiling for the cameras, saying that he feels at home signing a new bumper deal. It's the last time we see him. Signed a new contract. Ain't seen him since. And for me, I'd make you right when you said about his substitutions. He ain't learned, mate. In nearly four full calendar years, that guy's substitutions and in-game tactic, management, whatever you want to call it, has not got any better. No. Like, it really hasn't. Jesus coming off. Why? When we're seeing Nelson coming on, we're all crying out, get Nelson on, get Eddie off. And then we see Jesus coming off. And we're like, let's see, he's injured. That's a weird one. Yeah, our whole game changed as soon as Jorginho and Havertz came on. Because I actually thought first half we'd done all right. First 35 minutes, I thought we played well. We were pressing them high up the pitch. We were forcing them into mistakes. Eddie looks up and Vieira's there for a tap-in and still decides to shoot near stick. Like, Jesus robs Maddison, swiped it. He should have took another touch. You know, and I thought we played pretty well. But that second half was one of the worst second half performances under this manager. And we've had a lot of bad second halves or first halves or halves combined, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that is right up there and ranks right up there with one of the worst halves of football under this manager. Kenny, you was at the game. I can imagine what the atmosphere is like being at them games before myself. It looked lively on TV, but what did the crowd, the immediate crowd around you, make of them subs at half time? And how did you see the game overall, mate?
Well, first start, Mikel Arteta just proved what I've always said about him. He's just a coaching myth. He's a coaching myth. Everything about Mikel Arteta is a myth. Everything about Arsenal's a myth. You know, this squad did depth. Do me a favour. Depth. The only depth I'm interested in is depth full of quality, not depth in numbers. It's a myth. The guy's self-harmed. The guy should be sectioned. I mean, he got everything wrong. I mean, a lot of people are saying that they understood Eddie's inclusion. I didn't. I mean, if you kind of rewind back to our game against PSV, one of the reasons why we played a performance like that and played our best football this season is because we played with pace. Yep. So logic says you keep Jesus up front, you play Eddie you play Saka where he should be in the right, and then you bring Reece Nelson. What's the point of giving this guy an extended contract if he's not going to play these games? I mean, it's an open goal policy. If Martinelli's out, Trossard plays. If both of them out, the guy who plays that position has to play. There was no reason to bring Eddie Nketiah into that team. It is self-harming. I was actually with, double Rob, Guna, and also I did a fan cam with Spurs channel, Chris Cowlin, and I was with his family as well because and we just had a little chat. As soon as Rob told me the lineup I was going absolutely berserk in front of Chris Cal and his family and Rob. I was going absolutely spare. I said, "What is he doing? He's self-harming. He's broken up what was successful on Wednesday by playing Eddie. It's not. I was going absolutely mad. He's handing the game to him on the plate, and that's exactly what he did. He handed it on a plate. The only reason why we were able to dominate the game is because Spurs weren't part of the wider-weight club. They thought it was just another game. So they weren't moving the ball quickly. They were moving the ball at walking pace. We were at it, like expending as much energy as we can, getting in their faces, created chances through their mistakes, not for our good football. Let's just dispel this myth that we dominate the game by playing well. No, we dominate the game because we were at them, got in their faces, and forced them into errors. That's why we got our first goal, and that's why we got those chances. The quality of passing was terrible from us, even from the start. Let's be honest with it. Let's do the eye test. And then the second half was an absolute disgrace. But the goal from Saka was embarrassing. I don't know what Saka was doing. I don't know whether he thought the ball was going out of play or whether he was waiting for his pizza delivery or waiting for, someone to send him a text or something to say, let's meet up afterwards. Because he wasn't concentrating on, Maddison. He just stood there and let him go past. And then three players alongside Song, and Song still gets in between them and scores. An embarrassment. And after that, they got control. But this is where it gets really, really good. You saw a situation where Spurs had a midfield of Maddison, who was now getting into the game, who was the best player on the pitch. Then you had his two minders, Sarr and Bazuma. So you had athleticism and you had beef in midfield. So what's happened? Yes, Declan Rice went off. He wasn't that great anyway in the first half. I'll have you saying that anyway before he'd done his back. So let's just get that in and let's dispel that myth. And then we had a situation where you bring on Havertz. Well, I'm not trying to be funny, right? Tactically, if you've got two minders alongside a creative player, then what you do is stop them trying to control the midfield. You get a player on who can actually play that position. Doesn't matter whether you rate him or not. The fact is, you go by the tactics of the match. You look at how the passage of play, and you say, right, you've got Mohamed El Neni there, who's fit. He can play that job, break up the play, and hold. But you don't bring him on. You leave him on the bench and bring on Jorginho. So what Jorginho goes and does, he wants to go and play the quarterback. So when he's playing a bloody quarterback, not only is he getting caught in possession, Odegaard can't support the front two. I mean, it's basic footballing knowledge, tactics. You don't bring on, two players in, players in Havertz. If you're not gonna give Odegaard the protection to get to the front two, it's not gonna work. I mean, what is wrong with this man, this coach? When is he gonna learn? The guy. Sorry, I have to say it. Sometimes this coach is too clever for his own good. He's brain dead. He was brain dead yesterday. His substitutions were embarrassing. And then he finally brings Reece Nelson on when basically the game was nearly done. It was over. Let me tell you something now. Had Maddison not got that knock and not been taken out, and Son didn't run out of gas, they would have smashed us to pieces. They would have beaten us 3 or 4-2. It would have been their first victory over us in 13 years, and they would have deserved it. They're a better side than us.
It's crazy. And bringing Smith Rowe on with 4 minutes of stoppage time to go. Why?
What was that? Yeah, because he wanted to try and nick it. He wanted to try and nick it in the last minute because he realised, or it took him 20 minutes to realise that Spurs didn't have the tools to go and win the game because they brought in Højbjerg, who's basically isn't going to be able to, get closer to the, like I said, to the front two. He's going to try, but he's not good enough to do it. He hasn't got that, like I said, that tactical, know-how to get in there, and he hasn't got the ability to do that. So it was basically a management. It was a containment job, and both teams are contained. We were knackered because we ran out of gas. They were just they were happy with a point, not because they wanted to, because they realised they didn't have the players to win the game. Because don't do me a favour, Richarlison. I mean, you bring him on with 20 minutes to go. It probably takes him 20 minutes to get back in the game. So that was a buy for us. And don't get me started on Højbjerg. But all I can tell you now, that man has self-harmed. And then he talks about Declan Rice being ready for Man City. He said, well, hang on here. We've got Bournemouth. Before that, we've got Brentford. And then we've got Lons. I'm sorry, but did we buy Declan Rice? Did we pay £105 million for him to play Man City home and away? What about the other 36 games? What's wrong with this? The BS I've heard from the manager saying that it's 2 points dropped. Are you having a laugh? It's a point game, mate. And don't get me started on Piers Morgan regarding Raya. I mean, the Ramsdale industry.
I heard it, but he was talking to Ray Parlour, wasn't he? Yeah.
Why can't the guy just shut his trap? The only person who's got a right to comment is his dad. And I respect that. But let me ask some of these Arsenal fans, these Ramsdale lovers, especially the ones who want to have his dad on the podcast, and you know who you are, or the ex-players, when they're asked about ex-players, when they're asked questions about who's Arsenal's number one, goes and swerves it because he's had Nick Ramsdale on his podcast with his mate. All I've got to say to you, and I'm going to ask you a question. If his name was Angel Ramos from Gijón or from another part of Andalusia, would you lot be having a go? Because you're pretty silent when he cost us a game against Southampton. You're pretty. Yeah. You weren't exactly running. You weren't exactly running. You weren't running the games about the points he dropped. Oh no, you kept quiet then. But you want to have a go at Raya because he got pressed in a North London derby and people were going after him. I don't remember any Raya's passes going straight to Spurs and creating an attack, but I remember Ramsdale's once.
Mate, I think somebody put a compilation together of all of Ramsdale's mistakes since he's been here. And I genuinely didn't realise how many there was. There was literally about 30, 35 mistakes. Yeah, and listen, the one thing I will say here, I said it last week, that goalkeeper has over-exceeded our expectations because we all thought he was trash. Yeah, didn't want him. Fair play, he's done better than we thought he would. Yeah, but now the club have duped him into signing a new contract, right? Then signed this goalkeeper, so now we can sell him and get more money for him because he's now got extra years on his contract. Smart from the football club, yeah. But all these people that are losing their ish about it, mate. At the end of the day, you have to be ruthless. And at the end of the day, mate, he ain't good enough to win a title. He ain't good enough to win us a title. The goalkeeper we've signed remains to be seen whether he is. But I'll tell you something yesterday. That's that first goal they scored on half time. Why didn't he just punch it? Why didn't he just punch it? All he do is just put his fist through it and the ball flies up towards the halfway line. Instead, he tried being too smart with it. Saka switches off. Saliba, Gabriel are just standing there and bang, 1-1. Yeah. And again, that all started from Eddie Nketiah. Yeah. And nobody doing their jobs along the way after that. It was just a comedy of errors, mate. Yeah. And then Jorginho. Yeah. I'm not being funny. Why are you at centre back? Where was Saliba? Why was he in Saliba's centre back position? That makes no sense to me whatsoever. Not only that, why do you then think you're prime Pirlo? Who gave this guy that much arrogance to think that he can actually do that right as the last man? As the last man up against James Maddison, who's player of the month, is playing extremely well in the game, with Son just standing over there ready for a tap-in. Who do you think you are? Like, honestly, mate. But this is the thing, lads, yeah? I'm extremely disappointed we lost that game. But at the same time, I'm not surprised. It feels like a loss. I'm extremely disappointed we drew the game. But at the same time, I'm not surprised. I actually wasted €10 on a bet on that. Put Arsenal to win 5-2, 60-1. I should have just got €10. Never again. I've learned my lesson. Yeah, but at the end of the day, I look at it and I just think, like, how far does it go? Because I've seen a lot of people online today, questioning Eddie Nketiah. Well, hang on a minute. The only reason this geezer's got a contract at Arsenal, because let's not forget, he was out of contract. Yeah. The only reason he's got a contract is because all of you idiots online gassed him up because he scored 5 goals and put his arm on Chelsea's corner flag, giving it all that. Yeah, which took us from 4th to 5th, by the way. And now the club went, oh, look, they're over the moon with Eddie. Yeah, have a new deal, Eddie. Have number 14 and 100 grand a week. Who the hell is going to pay 100 grand a week for him? We're stuck with him unless he decides he's taking a pay cut. Who's going to pay him 100 grand a week? How much can we get for him if we was to sell him? Yeah, they're all sitting there laughing at Balogun missing 2 penalties in one match the other day. Yeah, how about laugh at him? Yeah, how about hold him to the same account you're holding Balogun to? Yeah, when Balogun misses 2 penalties, that guy misses sitter after sitter after sitter. He's always flat-footed. Yeah, watch on the corners yesterday. Nowhere to be seen. The ball's bobbling down and he's over here. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And people are going to, a lot of people are coming round to it. I've seen a lot of people upset today. Yeah, but again, we beat Brentford on Wednesday and they forget all about it again. Yeah, people are sitting there going on about the injuries we've got. Well, didn't I say all of this? Didn't we say all of this all season, all summer? We need to get 3 or 4 more players in. The squad ain't good enough. We need another centre-back. We need another midfielder. If Declan Rice gets injured, we're finished. Yeah, we need another right winger. We need a striker. Now, all of a sudden, the stories are coming out. Oh, we're linked to Ivan Toney. Yeah, by then, the league's done, mate. Yeah, by January, the league will be done. And we won't go and get him in early in January. We'll piss around all January. Yeah, and we'll get him in right near the end. Yeah, by which time it'll be game over. Yeah, it's embarrassing, mate. Yeah, and the thing is, the way we've played this season, yeah, mate, I just look at it and I think, well, you're playing this season, you're asking to get sacked. Because it's not sustainable. Somebody put in my chat yesterday, we've scored 12 goals in the league. 3 of them have been penalties, and 4 of them have been deflected shots. That's 7 out of 10. It's 7 out of 12. That ain't sustainable.
No,
it's not sustainable. Man said you're not in a title race. Behave. I never said we was. I don't know if you're new to this show, mate, or new to this channel, or new to watching any of my streams. I know we're not winning nothing, mate. Yeah, all 3 of us know that.
Well, we've got to do something. Something's got to happen in the season because we're not going to win. Because simple reason is that you can't spend all that money. You can't give the manager something he wants. You know, because it's not acceptable. 4 years without a trophy, especially when you've had all that money to spend. And let's not talk about our record in Europe because that's an embarrassment. I mean, West Ham have won the same amount of trophies in Europe as us. And it took West Ham. It took West Ham. 29 years to catch up with us. That shows how poor we are. We haven't won anything. Let's not talk about the guys down on Seven Sisters Road. They won more than us, and they haven't won a European trophy since 1984. But and which one out of the 3 London clubs have been in Europe regularly? Us. Yet Spurs haven't won a European trophy since 1984. Yet they're still in front of us. West Ham won their 2nd European trophy this year, yet they caught up with us. We're an embarrassment. Embarrassment in terms, and yesterday just culminated and just proved what we've all thought. Everything is about a myth. How did we manage to go backwards from last season?
Because this manager overcomplicates everything.
Simples, man. I mean, I'm just going to say this, Lee, Kenny, and I would not be at all surprised by the end of October, we are way out of the title race. That's the way we're headed. If we keep sustaining these injuries, people today, oh, you've got Brentford in the Carrier Bag Cup. I wouldn't be at all surprised if that gets thrown in the bin. We lose it.
He'll throw that in the bin all day long. He'll throw that in the bin. We ain't putting a proper team.
We know he's going to be playing, don't we? We know he's going to be playing. We got a feeling that either Ramsdale plays, and Ramsdale probably won't even play. But if he does play, we know who's going to play up front.
Cedric Suarez will get a game. El Neni Jorginho will get a game. Smith Rowe will get a game. Reece will get a game.
Reece will get a game.
Yeah, Kivior will get a game. Tommy Yasu will get a game. We can name the team already.
Eddie will get a game because Eddie will need to repair his confidence because if you look at the last couple of seasons, the League Cup has been Eddie's competition where he plays against teams, and I say with respect, who are not on the top six level. So he'll probably play that game. And then what will happen is that if we win, he'll repair his confidence would be at its highest, and then he'll get selected again. But that's the situation. Whether Arsenal fans like it or not, they could talk. They can gaslight the League Cup all they like, but a trophy is a trophy, and we haven't won many of them in the last since we moved to the Emirates. Let me tell you something now. For a big club of ours, since we've moved to the Emirates, we've only had 4 trophies, 4 FA Cups. That's an embarrassment, mate. A big club like ours, 4 trophies. Are we having a giraffe? I mean, Man United stopped winning the league 10 years ago. But I'll tell you one thing, we're still able to play catch up with them winning trophies. We're even able to play catch up with Liverpool because Liverpool on the par of us are not winning much. But we're able to play catch up with them. So let's stop. Let's just stop this myth that everything's all right, and let's be realistic. There's no excuses. We have to demand success, and this season we're going to get it. Whether the manager likes it or not, if he isn't the man to get it, then pack his bags and let's get someone else in because we're not messing around no more. We got all the ingredients for success, and it's about time.
Apparently, he hasn't though, Kenny, because we have a missing piece. We need a striker. Well, why was you giving a 9 out of 10 transfer window then?
All right. Let me tell you something now. This is what I think is going to happen, and this I think what the man's plan is. I think that he wants to sign Neto to play in a Saka position, and then what he wants to do is play Saka up front, up top, like Gareth Bell played in 2013 for Spurs.
If he does that, we're done.
Yeah, but let me tell you something now. There's a method. The reason why I think it's going to happen because Bale did that successfully when he was at Spurs, and
Gareth Bell's 6'1". Yeah, lightning quick, strong as an ox.
Maybe so. But maybe so. But if we're not signing a striker and he's still, like I said, moosing up loudly about signing a right winger, what is that saying? It's clear as the night as day. Is that he's blatantly looking to play Saka up top because there's no other explanation. Have you heard him talk about getting a top class striker? When was the last time you heard about it? I haven't heard it.
Mate, he's only signed one attacking player. Sorry, has he actually signed a striker since he's been here? He ain't, has he? Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Jesus. And is he a striker?
Jesus is a striker.
The only attacking players he's signed since he's been here are Trossard and Willian and Jesus. 3 attackers.
Right. Apart from Vlahovic, which other centre forward have you heard us being linked with? How many times have you?
Fabrizio Romano's linked us to Ivan Toney today. He said that we've asked for the availability, so have Chelsea. But if it's a choice between Arsenal and Chelsea, he's coming Arsenal. Let's be real with it. Are we going to go and do 60, 70 million quid on him in January? If not, why don't we just buy him and get his signed up for January in the first place?
All right. Yeah. I hear what you're saying. But all right, if you take away Fabrizio Romano, what about Oystein from the Athletic? How many times have you heard Romano and Oystein always link us and say that the manager is looking for a right-sided winger? How many times have you heard it? I never stop hearing it. In fact, I've got it in my brain. That's how much we talk about it. So if we're looking for a right-sided winger, then all that tells me is that he's going to try and move Saka into the middle because we're not looking for top-class striker. I haven't heard us being linked with one. I haven't heard him mention it. Not once have you heard Arteta mention it. Not once you've heard him leak it, but he's always leaking information about getting the right winger.
Yeah, true. Right, let me rifle through these super chats. Big up Keith as well. Big up, mate. Hope you're well. Big up to everyone inside. There's over 800 in here. I bet there ain't even over 200 likes. So what are you doing? You are moving like Eddie and Nketiah up front. 150 on the likes. Disgusting. The like ratio is in the bin. So smash the likes up. I'm on with Henry Wright in about 15, 20 minutes or so. So he's going to be mate, they're in a title race according to him, mate. Yeah, Ange Ball and that. Big up for everyone dropping the super chats in as well. Jerome says, with City winning every game so far, Liverpool being unbeaten, Spurs playing good, and Brighton going to be hard for Arsenal to repeat last season. Bro, we've been saying it. They don't want to hear it, mate. Just be happy. We're unbeaten. Just be happy. We're top of the league. Just be happy. Yeah, how about shut up? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, we see the bigger picture. We don't just go game to game. Yeah, we see the bigger picture. We've all said Declan Rice will get injured this season. We know it. We know he'll get injured. He's got no injury record whatsoever. He's now out injured, asked to come off yesterday. Mad. Szoboszlai, Maddison and Ward-Prowse cost less than Havertz. Bro, we could have got Maddison and Basuma for 65 million. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, mate. Two players that I want, especially Maddison. But we got Odegaard. Which one run the game yesterday? Thank you, Matty, as well. The manager has overstayed his welcome, bro. Uncomfortable conversations. It's like, I don't like it. I don't like it, but reality will kick in. They've all been hyping up every one of our players, the squad depth and all of this. Yeah. Oh, Jorginho's all right. He's not a bad squad filler. Don't want squad fillers, mate. I want players that can challenge to start games every week, and he can't. He ain't good enough. Embarrass him. Make sure you sub to Matty's channel as well, people. Thank you, mate. Big up Magne as well. In Ketty ain't it. Would rather have Shamak, Giroud, or Welbeck. We need Tony in January. Terry had Ivan Toney to Arsenal deal close. Yeah, Terry also said Arsenal was scary. On one of his videos, is it true? Big up all of you. Listen, I'd love Ivan Toney, another player that I wanted. But since he was in the Championship, I said, he's on it. Go and get him. Anyone who watches me every week knows that. Same with Trossard. Wanted Trossard here for years. But the problem is, the players that I like, this manager, he'll sign some of them and then he'll bench them. Trossard, like, he should be starting. I know he was injured yesterday. He should be starting every week if he's fit. If Jesus is out and we're playing Eddie, why can't Trossard start there? This is a geezer who scored a hat-trick for Brighton at Anfield. Yeah, this is a guy who came in and hit the ground running for Arsenal and then was benched after winning Player of the Month. Yeah. Didn't see him again. Then he starts a game against Fulham and gets hooked at half-time. He then wins us the game against Everton, scores a cracking goal the other night, sets up Jesus for a cracking goal. Yeah, and now he's injured. Yeah, and then when he comes back, he ain't getting straight back in the team. It's what the manager does. Yeah, he's got his favourites, mate. Yeah, he's got his favourites. Saka's undroppable. Declan Rice is undroppable. It's mad. It's actually crazy. Big up to you, my bro. Big up to Laura as well. Abysmal second half. Eddie, oh, please tell me what Havertz does. Saka limping the last 20 minutes and got subbed off. Saka couldn't run the last 20. Mate, it didn't look good. I think he's probably done his ankle. So I don't know if it's anything serious, but maybe a sprain. And he went over on his ankle and the geezer fell on him as well. So maybe he's just pulled it a little bit. But yeah, it didn't look good. It didn't look good at all. And listen, people can waffle on about our squad depth. Yeah, the fact is, if Saka's not in the team, who are we playing there? We ain't got anyone that's of a level to go in there and consistently perform, which is why I wanted another right winger. Kenny mentioned Pedro Neto. I've been banging that drum for 2 years. He's had 2 ACL injuries, that guy, and he's still one of the best wingers in the league. Yeah, scored again at the weekend. Like, calling out for a striker. We ain't got one. Calling out for another midfielder, even though we signed Declan Rice and wanted another one. Yeah, what does Havertz do? What does he do?
Nothing.
7 games now he's played, and he's done nothing in all of them. Yet he keeps getting opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. No. I said it when we signed him. He's going to die on that Havertz hill, mate. Yeah, and so far, yes, we're unbeaten. I'll tell you now, if Declan Rice is out injured for any length of time, which they're saying he could be back for the City game, I don't know what the injury is. I haven't seen it. If anyone in the chat can help me, that'd be great.
This is back.
Somebody put in the chat it was his back, but somebody said yesterday it was a calf strain. So I don't know, but it's extremely frustrating that everything that we've said is going to happen is happening. Players are dropping like flies. Why? Because they were overplayed last season. Yeah, because he didn't have the bench. Well, now we fast forward to this season, Champions League. You can't rest your players. You've got to play the best team. All of a sudden, we have 1 Champions League game, and now we've got a load of injuries. Who knew? Who knew, mate? Who knew? What do we know? We're just negative, isn't it?
Can I ask Kenny a question? Kenny, you were at the game yesterday, mate. Did you get, after the game, any impressions that there was a lot of discontent with Arteta at all?
I saw more discontent with the manager on social media than I saw in the ground.
Right.
A lot of people were critical of the players, critical of the substitutions, but I think I saw more people laying the blame at the manager's door. No one else but the manager's door. They laid the blame about his team selections and his substitutions and all-round tactics. But, I think a lot of that criticism is because it was Tottenham and the fact we never turned up. I mean, it didn't even feel like a derby. It didn't even feel like a derby before. There's something just flat. And it kind of improved during the match. But there were certain things, that were strange. I mean, the lad that wrote that ridiculous song "North London Forever," he was walking past me. If I wasn't busy, you talking to other people, I was telling him what I thought of his song, but it just never felt like. It felt the only time it felt like a derby was having my conversation with Chris Callan and his family, and just having a little camp for him. Apart from that, it's during the match, especially that second half, it was like it seemed like they wanted it more than us. They actually looked at the whole picture and felt, you know what, we're better than this team. We're going to win it. And then they realised, you know what, let's not risk it. Let's just keep what we got, because the players that can win us the game, are not on the pitch, because they like us, we didn't have any quality. Probably throughout the whole match, we just relied on mistakes. Their quality went off when the subs went on. So it was basically two average towards the end at 2-2 when Madison and Son went off. It was just two average teams playing each other. You know what I mean? That's how it looked to me. But in terms of North London derby, it didn't feel like a derby. It really didn't. And that what really frustrated me. Not just from the players, but for the fans. I don't know what it is. Maybe we were really expectant. Maybe, what it was? We just thought that all we had to do was turn up and thrash them. We didn't read the memo about Spurs.
That's why I predicted 5-2. I thought, they ain't all that. We're going to batter them.
We didn't read the memo.
How wrong was I?
Yeah, but the thing is that we've had loads of games with Tottenham where we thought they've improved, and they've just turned up and we scored the first goal, and then they've just capitulated. They just hadn't wanted to be there, and their fans, they weren't able to transport any of the optimism towards their fans, and their fans deserted them. But yesterday, it was a different kettle of fish. That manager somehow is getting them playing, and that manager seems to have, in a short space of time, basically got his team, the club, everyone pitching together. I don't know how he's done it, but boy, they love that mate, and they're playing for that mate.
Yeah, he's done well so far, mate. Big up to Alberta as well for the donation, mate. Arsenal need to be ruthless and get rid of players like Eddie Ramsdale if he isn't in the plans, and Jorginho. We need to improve. It's not good enough. It ain't good enough, mate. And let me just show you the bench yesterday, because apparently we've got great squad depth, Jez.
Oh, really?
Great squad depth, yeah. Our squad depth's elite, mate. Yeah, look at our bench yesterday.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, Smith Rowe. Yeah, well, when was the last time he actually played in 90 minutes? Right, Jorginho. I've said it. You've said it. We've all said it. One injury to Declan Rice, and we're going Jorginho and Havertz in midfield. North London derby, it happens. Reece Nelson. Why is he at the football club? 100 grand a week, 5 million upfront cash in your bank. Why? Kai Havertz, absolute waste of 65 million and 200, 300 grand a week. Aaron Ramsdale, cool, not good enough for me, but you've done all right for 2 years, mate. Yeah, Jakob Kivior. Excuse me. So there's 20 million quid we did on him. 65 on Havertz. There's 85. Excuse me. Why is Cedric Suarez still here?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Tommy Asu. Oh, but Tommy, he wins headers. I'd expect him to. He's 6'3".
Yeah.
Yeah, he ain't good enough. Mate, we've seen some great players at our football club defensively. He ain't one of them. Mohamed El Neni, why are you still here? And then if you, excuse me, if you go to the injured players, Thomas Partey, Urian Timber, and Martinelli, Trossard. So there's 4 players, yeah? 4 players. Right, so you take 4 off the bench and put them on the bench. Yes, it looks better. Excuse me. It looks better. But ultimately, you are going to have injuries in a season. So Thomas Partey, well, he was playing at right back anyway. So are we really counting him right now? Are we really counting him? No. Yeah, because he was playing at right back. Yeah, Martinelli, cool. You walk in the first team pretty much every week, so we'll count you. Right? So that's 1. That means Eddie Nketiah drops to the bench. Jesus is up front. So now we've got Eddie on the bench. Right? Timber. Would Timber start at left back over Zinchenko? Maybe. He only started the first game of the season because Zinchenko was injured. So we don't know yet, do we?
No.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, he looked all right. But it's 1 game. 2 games if you include them, or 1 and a bit games. Community Shield and that game. Right? Trossard. Well, he sits on the bench most weeks. He don't start games. And now now I'm looking at that bench and I'm thinking, right, okay, Ramsdale's going to be sat there. We need the backup keeper on the bench. Of course we do. Kivior will be there. Eddie will be on the bench. Trossard will be on the bench. And Thomas Partey will probably be on the bench. Yeah, cool. It's better than that we're looking at now. But is it good enough? I don't think it is.
No, it's
I
not.
don't think it is. And this is why I sit there and get the right raging ump. We have done nearly 650 million quid and we still have that dross at our football club. It's embarrassing.
But the thing about it, we've got away with it because you look at it. We're not the only club that's spent the amount of money, and it hasn't. Basically, the players are not fit to wear the shirt. Now, I'm going to say it, they're basically not fit to wear a shirt of a team that is going for the title. Because let me tell you something now. The reason why we're not getting very much exposed is because our results are better than the other team that's doing it, Man United. Because both ourselves and Man United, we both spend a lot of money on players where everyone's saying the squad's improved, we've got squad depth, and we'll be able to challenge. But squad depth means nothing to me. Only quality players. And that's the thing with Arsenal. Every season we get the same story of a lot of our fans who gas up the transfer window and say, I'm really liking the shape of our squad. We've got 2 players for every position. We can now challenge, man. Mikel and Edu are like geniuses. That's all you hear about certain people on Twitter, and they're cheerleaders.
That's because they put a player in 3 different positions on these little graphs.
And that's the thing. In reality, the players that we've signed are still not good enough for us to challenge on all fronts. They're still not good enough. The fact is that you've got a situation like with Smith Rowe. If Smith Rowe is not good enough to play in your teams, then sell the guy. You'll get a lot of money for him and get someone get someone who's good enough to start games and challenge our front 3 for a place, challenge our midfield for a place. What's the point of keeping Smith Rowe at the football club? I can think of about 10 players who will get injured before he gets a game. And I don't exaggerate, but that's how it feels. How many players have to be injured for Smith Rowe to get a start? Smith Rowe is as far away from the starting lineup as he was last season.
And he's one of the reasons this manager kept his job.
Yeah, but that's in the past now. The manager moves on pretty quickly. You've got to remember, Mikel Arteta is a user in a kind of footballing way. He needed players to, like younger players, to get us through the alleged hard times because he was out in players like Aubameyang, he's out in Ozil, he's out in Guendouzi, all the alleged bad eggs out in Leno. So he needed a younger team to get us through and try and get us back into Europe. He did that by failing to get in the top 4. Then he needed us to make a pseudo challenge for the championship or the Premiership. So he had these sort of players. Now he wants to go to the next level. So players like Smith Rowe are yesterday's news as far as he's concerned. So if that's the case, why keep him at the club? Go and buy a player that you really want, and that way we'll have genuine depth, but not depth in numbers, quality. That's what I want, quality. I don't want players who are just there making up the numbers. Now, I rate Smith Rowe, but if you don't rate him, Mikel, then get rid and get players in that you do rate, because you're wasting time. Time.
Yeah, but then when he gets players in that he rates, it's Kai Havertz. Like, bro, let's not forget, this is the manager that signed Cedric Suarez. This is the manager that gave El Neni a new deal, gave Rob Holding a new deal.
For numbers. So
gave Willian a contract.
But it's the requisite numbers. At the end of the day, we can't have, and I say it respectfully, we can't have a Phil Jones situation at Arsenal because it does no one any good. No good whatsoever. Let's get the players in that can challenge our first choice 11, and that way, when we do play games against Spurs, there is a depth of quality between the first choice and the second string. Yesterday screamed one message. There's still a massive gap between the first choice and the second choice. And until we bridge that gap, we're never, ever, ever going to be able to sustain a challenge for the league or stage a challenge for the Champions League. Because Man City have managed to bridge that gap, and so have Liverpool. And that's why Liverpool managed, apart from last season, to stay on City's coattails. And that's why City.
Sorry to interrupt you, mate. I see these comments from people saying, well, we've got 2 players for every position. If you've got one player that's good and the other one's crap, then that's not good enough, is it?
No.
Back in the day when we did have a decent squad, and I'm talking a long time ago, right, when we did have the ability, if somebody had been taken out for whatever reason, injury, whatever, we had the ability to bring another player in that could actually do the job. We don't have that. And I hear all this, oh, well, you know, we've got to do a good run in the Champions League. I mean, are you actually that thick that you actually think we're going to challenge big time? We'll get out of the group. I'm convinced of that. And then we're amongst the big boys again. And with this squad, that bench that Lee's just shown, are you having a laugh?
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, if we do have to meet up with the likes of PSG, Bayern Munich or Real Madrid, dear God. And we've got people like Suarez in defence. We're going to get our arses piped, mate. And
100%.
It's a fact at the end of the day. And we are just not. Nothing is going to change until Arteta and Edu have gone. That's the problem. They are the cancer in the club because they are. Yeah. I've been saying this for 3 bloody years now. Until they've gone, nothing will change at this club because it is just an absolute crap show of what they're doing. And
they're doing the bare minimum, Jez. That's what they're doing, just to get us back in the Champions League, because that's all they care about at this football club. Yeah, that's all they care about, Champions League, because they know that the majority of our fans only care about Champions League.
But it's much worse than that. They've reached their level. They're doing what they're actually good enough to do. They've reached their level. And, you know, shake it around and say, thank you for getting us in these positions. You've got the maximum best out of your capabilities as a coach and as a transfer negotiator or a director of football, whatever you want to call him. But you know how this works. People like that do the groundwork, they lay the foundations, and then you get the finishes in. Just like what happened at Chelsea in 2004. Ranieri did all the groundwork. You know, like I said, got Chelsea to the Champions League, but wasn't good enough to take to the next level. So what he did, they went and got Mourinho, who put the icing in the cake. And I think that's what the situation is. At the moment, if we don't win anything this year, then we have to come to the conclusion that Edu and Arteta, this is their level, but we need to go one better now, and we need to import other people in. And I think I'm being nice when I'm saying it, but in layman's terms, that's exactly where it is, because that's how it's looking to me. Sometimes some people are only good enough to take you to a certain level.
Yep.
And sometimes you just have to put your hands up and say, you know what, we know what's required. Let's spend some real money and get someone else with the right enough contacts to get these players that we need. And let's get a manager who we know is good enough to turn these players into genuine winners, not just one season winners, regular winners. Someone who would have the know-how to, like I said, win tight games because of their experience. Just like Mourinho taught John Terry, Frank Lampard, Didier Drogba, Petr Cech into those kind of game managers who are able to win games when they don't want to play well. Just like it was at Man United with Sir Alex, and just like it was with Bob Paisley at Liverpool. And as Pep's finding, Man City are not always going to be playing great football, but they have that kind of know-how how to get themselves out of difficult situations and do enough to get over the line. Right now, we haven't got that kind of mentality because we've got a manager and a transfer negotiator who are only at a certain level. That's just facts. And that's why we're going to have so many shows like this where we're going to be, how do I say it, dancing around the issue rather than, break dancing around it. All we're doing is doing a paso doble, having a little dance around and being nice about it. How about having an angry dance, like a break dance or a body popping and to say, you know what, this is what we need to do. No disgrace. I'll shake Mikel's hand and say thanks, mate, because he's got the best out of his coaching ability. You know, for a first effort, I don't like Mikel as a coach, but for a first effort, you say, you know what, you ain't done that bad, but we need something better. The same
we need somebody ruthless, man. That's not gonna be learning on the job. Somebody that's been there, done it, won it.
That is the standpoint you just mentioned. Two people were learning on the job.
Yeah,
that is a theme.
Yeah, mate. This is a great comment. I'm going to come to the super chats as well. Listen, there's 900 people in here. Smash the like button. Do it now. Nowhere near enough likes. Make sure you sub to Jez's channel, Arsenal History and More. Link in the description. Same with Kenny Ken's Instagram, Kenny Ken 1972. Let's buy Simeone's contract out. I watched Atletico against Real Madrid last night. Absolutely took Real Madrid to the cleaners. There's to the point where Ancelotti came out, apologized to everybody, and said, I completely messed it up. Right, that is, but apparently Simeone plays negative football. Yeah, says all the people that don't watch La Liga every week. We almost lost to Man United, says EPL 2023. Counter-attacking is too easy. Players smiling and joking on the field. And NLD makes me sick. Imagine us drawing Atletico in the knockout stage. Mate, I'll tell you what. Simeone is making Alvaro Morata look world class. Yeah, Griezmann running around pulling the strings like it was nothing yesterday. Yeah, Jude Bellingham having a stinker. Why? Because they were on him, snapping into him, getting into him quick, dropped a stinker. Yeah, they were not good yesterday, Real Madrid. Not good at all, but that's because Atleti just absolutely bullied them.
Derby, it's a derby. It's a derby.
Exactly. And do you know what? Yeah, Atleti were full value for their win. Full value. And it probably could have been more. They had a few other chances as well. Thank you for that, mate. Big up to Oregon Goon as well. Always love, bro. Shocking, mate. Done with our Arteta experiment. We talked about being a project club 3 years ago. Now we're saying the same bloody thing. Done. Exactly what it is. It's a project. It's a process. We're in phase 4. Charlie Boy Watts told us we're in phase 4 of a 5-phase development plan. Yeah, what is this? Building a new set of houses. Is that what it is? Like, we're in phase 4. Oh, yes, we've completed the phase 4. We're now moving on to building a phase 5. Get in a bin. Yeah, you ain't fooling me. I've called this out 3 weeks before this geezer got the job, mate.
You did?
3 weeks. The video is still on this channel. 3 weeks before he got the job, I said, I'm Arteta out before he's even got the job. Yeah, ain't having it. I knew he wouldn't take us anywhere. Listen, he's won an FA Cup. Fantastic. But that was 4 FA Cups ago. Soon to be 5 FA Cups ago. Yeah, in 9 months' time, that is 5 FA Cups ago. Yeah, how long do we keep holding this FA Cup as a little, oh, yes, but he won the FA Cup? Get in the bin. Big up to Daryl as well, man. I'm on phase 6-pack. I'm all out of beer. How can somebody spend £600 million and not have a bench? Unbelievable, isn't it? Well, I was saying that Chelsea had done $1 billion and they're still playing Conor Gallagher. No, but again, idiotic decisions, idiotic use of funds. Yeah, I've just went through the bench. Yeah, we've got Kivior and Havertz. Kivior and Havertz cost literally 85 million quid. Well, that could have got us a striker in the summer.
Yeah,
could have got us a striker. Yeah, Fabio Vieira cost 35 million. Yeah, and listen, just because he's had a couple of good games recently, don't wipe off the whole 12 months where he did nothing. Yeah, but unfortunately, a lot of these fans nowadays, not just Arsenal fans, but all football fans, they go game by game. Yeah, look how gassed up Man United fans are after beating Burnley, after being played off the park. Yeah, embarrassing. Actually embarrassing, but what do I know? Anyway, guys, we are going to wrap this up because I am on with Henry Wright in a second. 2 minutes, I'm going live with Henry Wright. But yeah, it's not great. It's not great at all. Big up to everybody who has tuned in. Big up to everyone watching on playback, who's liked, subscribed, all of that good stuff. Big up to everyone commenting, donating. I'll be on with Henry, then I'm done. Tomorrow I'm back on here at 2:30 with Rents, and then on with Terry. I wonder if he still thinks Arsenal are scary. But Jez, what you got coming up, mate?
Nothing tonight, mate. Having a night off. Tomorrow I'm on with Longhaired Yeti. We're doing a Premier League preview with Dow. Dow's on there and a couple of other people. And then I might, after that, do a Brentford Arsenal match preview show. And then, obviously, Brentford on Thursday, Wednesday. I beg your pardon. I'll be watching that. And then possibly, obviously Thursday, Kenny's coming on. We're going to do our weekly podcast. And if you're around, you said you might be able to. Depends on the missus, of course. So we've got to go with the boss, and then we'll take it from there, man. And I was one away before this show to 4.2k. I had 4.199.
Come on, get that done. Let me see if it's done. Let's see if it's done.
I don't know.
Come, subscribe right now. Link is in the description. In fact, I'll get the link in the chat. Arsenal history and more. Where are we?
Oh yeah, it's 4.
Yes, you're on 4.2.
4.2 eventually.
I'll link your last video. I'll put the last video in the chat. Yeah.
Cheers, man.
All right, so there you go. Go and sub to Jez. Make sure you follow Kenny Ken 1972. What you got coming up, Kenny?
Well, tomorrow I'm gonna probably I'm doing nothing. Probably watching old videos of the build. But on Wednesday I'll be at the GTEX Community Stadium watching us in the League Cup against Brentford. And that's the reason why we won't be doing the shows, because the Arsenal playing, and I'll be with Jez on his show. I know long-haired Yeti has asked me to go on as well, so I don't know whether I'm doing that with him on Thursday or Friday. But I'll tell you one thing: if I don't watch a minute of the Rugby World Cup, I deserve to be flogged publicly. Anywhere you want to do it, you can flog me outside. Give me 6 of the best at Crouch End, Crouch Hill, any part of Islington, and you can even give me 6 of the best at the Town Hall, because I deserve it. Because the way Jez is describing it, it looks like the Rugby World Cup is hotting up, and I've missed every minute of it.
Yeah,
the ball's the wrong shape, so
I don't know. I think it's a battle to get you interested in cricket. So to try and get you interested in rugby is going to be even.
I don't understand rugby. There's 2 different rules in rugby: rugby union, rugby league. I don't really get it, mate.
I don't know. You could, but at least you know how to play golf. Because I haven't got a clue about golf.
Yeah, Ryder Cup, Lee. So Ryder Cup starts Friday.
Yep.
Ryder Cup, man. And well done to the late European ladies for.
Hang on it. The Solheim Cup was in Spain, wasn't it, Lee?
Yeah. The Solheim Cup was this weekend.
Yeah. Well done to them retaining that. Coming back from 4-0 down on day one and get back to 10-10 and then continue on. Fair play to them. Fair play. I didn't see. I did watch a bit of it, but yeah, respect. Absolutely.
There you go. Right, I'm going live with Henry right now. A link straight to Henry's stream. Go and spam his chat with whatever you want. He's going to be gloating. I've got an hour of listening to him waffling on about how great Ange is and how great that club is. So yeah, I've got to take my medicine.
As long as he doesn't sing for you, you can't have him singing. You can't have the lad singing.
Mate, I'll just leave the stream.
I love your analogy you said yesterday. I've never thought of it myself. Chicken on a ball. Brilliant.
Yeah, hey, me and my mate were talking the other day, and we was like, out of all the football emblems on the planet, like that has got to be the dumbest one of the lot. Like FC Cologne have a goat, and then they walk a goat out on match day. Like, how long before Arsenal walk win round the track, like round the pitch before kickoff?
It happened with Gunnosaurus, man. He'd be walking.
Well, yeah, that's true. They do it with Gunnosaurus. Yeah, Win could walk around with Gunnosaurus before kickoff. That'd get all the fans melting, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Guys, trust me. You have to go to Crystal Palace away and see the half-time entertainment. You got their mascot.
Oh, yeah.
you got their eagle, and you got 2 lads, one from Arsenal, one Crystal Palace, and they're both taking penalties.
That eagle. I don't know what sort of eagle it is, but yeah, beautiful thing. Beautiful.
Crazy. Right, we're out of here, people. Straight to Henry's stream. Adios. Ciao.
Take care.